Hello, my name is the Pindar, and I have gotten some questions about enchanting lately, so I thought that it would make a good topic for a video. So, in order to start enchanting, we're going to need an enchanting table, and in order to do that, we're going to need 4 pieces of obsidian, 2 pieces of diamond, and a book. And that gets us an enchanting table. So if we go over to this spot, we can put down our enchanting table, and we're going to need a couple of things, so let me grab them. Now we can put our pickaxe, if that's our first item that we want to enchant, on this left side here. And then we need lapis lazuli, and so we put that on the right side. And then it gives us 3 options for things that we can enchant. Now it's usually going to give us like a low level, a mid level, and then a high level. Let me get rid of the weather here, since I am in a creative world. So if we put our items back in here. Now if I hover over this, it says efficiency 1, level requirement 1. Now I am at level 0. I do not have any levels yet. But if I were to get some levels, I could come in here and I could pick this, and this will give me an efficiency 1 enchantment on my pickaxe. It'll also reduce my level by 1, and I need a minimum level of 1 in order to use that enchantment. Now, if I wanted to do this middle one, for whatever reason, I would need a minimum level of 6, and it'll reduce my total levels by 2. Now, a level 6 enchantment even is not very good. So in order to get a higher level enchantment, we're going to need to put some bookcases around it. In order to get the max level enchantment that you want, which is level 30 by the way, you're going to need 15 bookshelves. So I have more than 15 bookshelves here. So if I were to go in here, put my diamond pickaxe down, you can see level 30. This is the max level for enchantments. So I can put my lapis lazuli in here now. Now I need level 30. So let me give myself some experience, and I gave myself way more than needed, but that's all right. So if I go back in here, and I can see that this is going to give me Unbreaking 3 ... which means that I could get a second enchantment on this pickaxe, but I might only get 1. And then if I wanted to go after the second level, it would give me Unbreaking 2, and it would cost me 2 levels and 2 lapis lazuli. And then efficiency 1 for 1 lapis lazuli, 1 enchantment level. Now, let's say you really don't want Unbreaking 3 on this pickaxe, so you want something else, but you only have a diamond pickaxe, let's say, or a pickaxe to enchant. If you make some books, you can also drop a book in here, and if you have a stack in your hand and you try to place a stack in here, it'll only drop 1. And so in this case, it's going to try to give me Blast Protection 4, which is pretty good. So since I have the spare XP and the spare lapis lazuli, I might as well do this. So look at that. I got Blast Protection 4 and nothing else. But if I were to put my diamond pickaxe back in here, let's say, ooh, efficiency 4 is actually really, really good. So I want that one. So I'm going to pick this one here. And it only gave me 1. A lot of times, not every time as you just saw, but a lot of times when you use tools or armor or weapons or an elytra, if you enchant it at an enchanting table on a level 30 enchantment here, it will give you 2 enchantments on a tool or an armor or a weapon, like I just said. Now I have some torches in here, which you might be wondering why I have some torches in here. But let's say you come in here and you're just looking for some an enchantment on something. You just need something to help you. You don't need much, but you just need something. And let's say you just died, right? So you're down at level 7. But if you were to look, I don't have something below a level 7 enchantment. What you can do is you can take some torches and you can put it around your enchanting table. And go back in and see how much I reduced it by. And I didn't reduce it by any. So let's add some more torches in. Put that back in, and now you see that 8 is the highest level that I'm seeing here. Adding torches between your enchanting table and the bookshelves will essentially stop the bookshelves from adding their levels to the enchantment table. So let me just pick up my torches here, and we can go back up to max level. And we're back up to max level, just like that. So the next thing that we want to do is actually to look at an anvil. But before I want to dive into what an anvil does, I need to get some durability used on my pickaxe here. Now, there's a couple of things you can do with an anvil. First thing you can do is you can rename your anvil, your tool, or whatever you put in that first slot. So let's call this my pickaxe. Then you can see that it says enchantment cost of 1, and it keeps the durability the same. So if I were to pull this out, you can see that it's called my pickaxe now. Weather, go away. All right. Now there's a couple of other things that it can do. You can repair tools. So if you come in here and you repair a diamond pickaxe, in this instance, you have to use a diamond in order to repair it. Now, because the durability on this was very, very little, I used it, as you saw, 3 blocks. It only cost me 1 diamond. But if you were to use this all the way down, it might cost you 2, 3, even 4 diamonds. So sometimes it gets to a point where it's just not worth it. The other thing that happens is every time you go to repair it, it increases the enchantment cost. And this will get to a point where it's higher than the max level for enchantments. So you will get to a point where you cannot repair your pickaxe from just dropping in diamonds like this. Another useful feature that an anvil has is you can actually repair 2 items of the same type by adding them both on the anvil. And then you see that they combine the durability, and it also keeps the enchantments that are already here. Now be a little careful about which slot you put the tool, because if I were to actually swap this around, I have an enchantment cost of 12, whereas this way it's only enchantment cost of 2. Let's say you want the best pickaxe that you can get. So you want to put a whole bunch of enchantments on this one pickaxe. You can do that. You can come in here and come to your enchantment table and drop books on here and just kind of fish for the enchantment that you're looking for, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I do that from time to time. But you get to a point where you're running out of XP and you're not in a creative world, so you can't just give yourself 63 levels like I did. So very, very quickly, you'll get to a point where Unbreaking 3, nice, Blast Protection, Sharpness 3, Impaling 4, Multi-Shot, and Efficiency 3. So out of those 5 that you just saw, there is only one that I would add to this, which is this Unbreaking 3. This Efficiency 3 is okay, but if I already have an Efficiency 4, it's kind of useless. In fact, it's entirely useless. And I'll show you in a sec why it's not entirely useless. So now if we go back to our anvil, I'm going to pull out these books. Something cool that you can do with an anvil, and it doesn't have anything to do with tools, is you can actually combine enchantments. So I have 2 different enchantment or sharpness 3 books. Now I can spend 4 levels, and this will give me a sharpness 4 book. Now there is a max level for each enchantment. Unbreaking 3 is actually the max level for Unbreaking. Efficiency 5 is the max level for efficiency. But I can come in here and I can add efficiency Unbreaking to my efficiency pickaxe, which I am going to do. So now I have my efficiency 4 Unbreaking 3 pickaxe. Now there's a couple of more enchantments that I want to add, and I put them in here. Now Mending is by far my favorite enchantment. Now, Mending, why is it my favorite? Well, simply put, it means that I don't have to deal with enchanting tables anymore. I don't have to worry about finding books to add to new pickaxes on anvils. Basically, it means that I can keep the same pickaxe or chest plate or leggings or any other tool or anything that I put mending on, as long as I can get more XP. Now, the way mending works is normally when you mine a block that drops an item, like redstone, for example, you see that whenever I gain these XP orbs, it's adding it to my bar. See how I just ticked up to level 1? Now, if I have mending and I mine the block, see how that didn't add anything to my XP bar? It's instead adding it to the durability of the tool that I'm using, for example. And see how my pickaxe is now back up to full. Now this will apply to the same idea to armor, if you put mending on armor as well. And you don't necessarily have to be mining in order to for this effect to take place. So if you take iron out of a furnace, if you kill mobs and you get XP that way, any way that you get XP, mending will take that XP and apply it to the item if it has less than full durability. Now, once I'm at full durability and I mine, you see that it does add to my levels again. But another couple of enchantments that I like to add are Fortune or Silk Touch. Now, let's go ahead and add Fortune to my pickaxe, all right? So now you're seeing that this enchantment cost is just going through the roof. Like the last one was 4 or 6, and now it's 13. So there's a huge increase in enchantment cost. So if I were to pick this, now I have Efficiency, Unbreaking, and Fortune 3. Now let's say I want to add Silk Touch to it. It's not letting me. That's because there's a few enchantments that are mutually exclusive. So you cannot add Fortune and Silk Touch to the same pickaxe. But you can add Efficiency, Unbreaking, Fortune, and Mending to a pickaxe. And alternatively, you can have a pickaxe that's Efficiency, Unbreaking, Silk Touch, and Mending. So now I have probably what I think is one of the 2 best pickaxes in the game, which is Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3, and Mending. The alternative, of course, is Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3, Silk Touch, and Mending. Now, there's a number of enchantments here in between these 2 books. There's Efficiency, Quick Charge, Sharpness, and Unbreaking 3. So we could combine this, and it'll keep all 4 of those on this same book. So if I were to go out and give myself some more experience, you can see that I can come in here and enchant this. That cost me 7 levels. Now, there's a couple of enchantments on this book that I cannot add to a diamond pickaxe, namely Quick Charge and Sharpness. So if I add this, drop this up here, you can see that this diamond pickaxe is only taking the enchantments from this book that it can actually use. This is both kind of a good thing about books and a bad thing about books. There are... the good thing about books is you can combine enchantments like you just saw. The bad thing about books is that if there's a book that has 2 different enchantments that you want, but they're out for 2 different pieces of equipment. Let's say you want the sharpness for your sword. You don't have another sharpness 4, but this is your only book with sharpness 4, and you want the efficiency and unbreaking on your pickaxe. You can't split the book into 2 different enchanted books with the enchantments that you want. So that's a bad thing about that. The other bad thing about enchanting tables and farming for the enchantments that you want is that you can literally go through an entire chest and not find a single book that has the enchantment that you want. For example, I was not able to find a single Mending, Fortune, or Silk Touch book after going through this many books. And I'll just kind of quick do a look through here just so you see that I'm not just talking out of my butt. So there's looting here, but there's no fortune. So there isn't a single Silk Touch fortune or mending book. The other thing that you can do, the thing that I usually do to get the enchantments that I want, is farm for them with villagers. And I'll show you that in a second. Now, when we want to fish for enchantments using villagers, what we'll need is obviously a villager, and in this case, a lectern. So let me get in here, and then what you'll have to do is you'll have to drop the lectern, wait for him to become a librarian, and you know that he'll become a librarian because his clothes will change, and you'll see those green sparks. So then you can click on him, and you can see what trades he has. Now, there's 3 options for trades for a librarian. One is paper, one is emeralds for a bookcase, and the other one is a random enchanted book. In this case, I got Impaling 4. Now, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Mending specifically. So I'm going to break the lectern. You'll see he turned back into a villager there for a second, and then he became a librarian again. If I were to click on him again, you'll see that he got the paper trade and the bookshelf trade. Now, you can just keep repeating this over and over again. And he has the bookshelf trade again until you get the enchanted book that you want. Now, the reason why I usually do this method instead of sitting in front of an enchanting table or going fishing for enchanted books or running around in the world looking for like chests from strongholds or mine shafts, or really anywhere else that will give me a guaranteed loot box, is that once you have found the trade that you want, so if I were to go out here, I've actually done this already in preparation. Once you've actually found the Book of Mending that you want, once you trade with him, and I have traded with him once, he will always keep this trade. So I can come back here and I can put mending on all of my pickaxes, on all of my tools, on all of my armor, on all of my weapons, and even elytra once I get that. And all I'll have to do is just make sure that I have enough emeralds and books in order to trade with him. But that's all of the work that I'll have to do. I won't have to spend an hour in front of an enchanting table burning through books. And actually, I think it is impossible to get a Book of Mending from an enchanting table. I won't have to spend an hour in front of an open bay of water fishing to try to get an enchanting book. I'll just have to come in here. And the only downside really is emeralds, but if you have a couple of trades that are really good, such as, oh, this guy doesn't have a paper trade. Paper trade is probably one of the best trades in the game as far as getting emeralds, because you can set up a really, really big reed farm and get paper really easily. The farmer with wheat trades, potato trades, those kinds of trades are really easy too. Those are probably the 2 go-to trades for emeralds that I use. And in the interest of keeping this short, keeping this on topic, I think I'm going to end it there, as we've talked about how to get trades from villagers, why I think villagers are the best. We've talked about enchanting tables. We've talked about combining enchantments on a anvil. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much, and I hope I'll see you guys again sometime soon. Bye.